Hi, I'm AJ, and today I'm going to show you how to make a circle cutting jig for your rotor. So to start, you want to take this plate off. If you have a different type of rotor, you want to take that plate off. You want to save these screws. You don't want to lose those screws. Put those somewhere safe. So you're going to take your plate. I'm just using a piece of 1/2-inch plywood. Now, I also know that that is a 1.5-inch hole, so I got a Forstner bit. Just keep that plate there. You can set the Forstner bit in. So just push down, and it will give you a center hole when you drill out the Forstner bit. Alright, and then these holes, mark the center. Use my calipers. Going to check the screw size here, figure out what size hole. Roughly 1/4 inch. Alright, so put your 1.5 inch in your drill press. If you don't have a drill press, you could cut that hole out if you had a scroll saw or a jigsaw. For the screws, I've decided to go with a 3/16. Now we can go over to the table saw and cut this out. We're now over at the bandsaw, but you could use your scroll saw, jigsaw, or you could just sand it if you wanted to. Camera's too close. Back. Now we'll go over to the sander, get right to that line. If you don't have a sander, you could just leave those square, doesn't matter. I've switched over to a 3/8 inch drill bit, and what we're going to do is countersink these holes so the head of the screw sits down. Make the screws long enough, because right now they're not long enough to screw back into the rotor. I've set a depth stop. You can see that there. Almost right down to the last ply. So next step is we want to mark a center line down because we're going to drill some pinholes. We're 4 inches, so we want to mark that 2 inches in. that side. Now we have a center line down the middle. We can measure and mark out our holes. So this hole, all the holes line up. Brr. I was able to find a pin that I used, so I drilled some holes in the circle cutting jig to fit the pin. But in my workpiece, I will need to drill the same size hole. If you didn't have a pin, or you don't want to drill as big of a hole, you could simply stick a nail in and use the pointy end to stick into your workpiece. Now let's make a circle. So I'm measuring in the radius, mark the center hole, and I'll drill that out. I'm not drilling all the way through, I'm just drilling just enough that I can set the pin down into the workpiece. And this is, I have my workpiece upside down. With the jig in place, I turn the rotor on and the bit is up so it doesn't touch the workpiece, and then I slowly lower it down a little bit. After every rotation, lower your rotor just a little bit more until you work your way all the way through the workpiece. When you get close to the end, make sure you use a piece of scrap wood so you don't cut a circle into your workbench. Click the video card in the top right corner to see what I built with this wood circle. And by the way, if the video card is not up there yet, I'm still working on the video, so please subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss this next video.